All right, we'll take up file 2018-55765, Tia Pitts and William Isbell. And both are here via Zoom. Mr. Isbell with counsel, Ms. Sterling's here on his behalf. And the matter was set for hearing. An order of custody was entered on December 1st, granting Mr. Isbell custody and Ms. Pitts parenting time, reasonable parenting time when she was present in the state of Michigan with notice to the defendant as she was moving out of state. Today was the date and time set to determine if a more consistent order of parenting time could be entered. Ms. Sterling, you ready to proceed today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Pitts, you ready to proceed today?
Yes.
All right. I guess, can someone just give me a recap of the last couple months? Has there been any parenting time? And ma'am, where did you land and things like that?
No, there hasn't been any parenting time given. I actually left state on December 1st, but I came back on the 15th. So for the holidays and stuff. And I wasn't able to get Trinity because William said that there wasn't a custody order and that there wasn't anything entered saying that I had parenting time. So he told me I could pick her up for, a couple of hours on his terms and conditions. And he wouldn't let me come pick her up even on the day I was supposed to come pick her up.
All right. So I had put in there that you would have reasonable parenting time as long as you gave him notice if you were in Michigan,
Right.
But that wasn't, that didn't happen.
No, and I gave him a week's notice and that was not enough time to him. And he wouldn't let me. I went to his house and he wouldn't even come out and let Trinity out.
Ms. Sterling, is all that accurate?
We didn't have any idea that she was in state or out of state or where she was living. There's been a lot of things going on since the last hearing. Her husband tried to commit suicide in the hospital. They also found opioids in his bloodstream. Part of the reason why you weren't setting parenting time is because we were expecting to get a hair follicle test from Tia, and that has never been done. There's CPS had been involved again, and apparently the allegations in that case were that they were living in their car and meth use was the issue. But it's obviously terrible with them right now because, and I guess my client's glad that the child wasn't there because he hung himself, her husband or boyfriend, whatever he is to her. And they had to take him to the hospital. I don't know how long he was in the hospital, but they're in a terrible situation. I have a video where she admits to selling meth to the friend that was helping her out and took her kids when her husband was in the hospital.
So I guess, ma'am, do you want to clarify any of that or?
So yeah, we came back up here on the 13th of December. My husband did try to kill himself. He did kill himself. And he was pretty low because, all the holidays and stuff going on and all the, trying to figure out where we were moving to and how we were going to get there and our car. And, I can't really explain. Couldn't see his kid or my kid or, it got really bad. He was diagnosed with major depressive disorder. He was on life support for 3 days and then he's alive now. He's good, but he's got short-term memory loss. So, he thinks we're back in June and doesn't understand, every day he's got to keep being reminded why, his kid isn't here or my kid isn't here. And he's unable to work right now. We did apply for disability because of this. I'm not living in my car. I'm still in the same house that I was in. I haven't been able to move out of state, no, because now with my husband, I can't really move out of state and try to figure out by myself even. Um, I, recently, so my husband's brother, while we were in the hospital in ICU, he came to my house and he stole and like robbed the rest of my stuff that was here. And then he also did damage to the physical house. So we thought we were going to be evicted because our landlord asked us not to come back. So we didn't come back. We were staying at a friend's house in Croton. We just, I've been working with like True North, Mid-Mich, trying to see if there was anything I could do. And really all I can do is just stay here and have to go to court for an eviction hearing or anything. But since, the situation with my husband was pretty traumatic and everything, it wasn't really my fault that, someone decided to come into my house and do this to us. But I haven't gotten any calls from CPS besides the one CPS called me and asked me if I wanted to press charges on this guy who assaulted me. He did pull a knife on me and push me, and that was when I was at my friend's house, and that didn't even have anything to do with me or my house. It was with her roommates. I was just there seeing my friend. I know that I got a lot going on, and I definitely don't think that I didn't deserve to see my daughter for the whole month. I still have my other two kids who, miss her to death, and I miss her to death, and I know that it would help all of us out, if we could just get something regularly scheduled. I don't, I'm not a horrible person. I'm not a horrible mom. My husband did not have opioids in his system. I mean, when he tried to hang himself, he, I just don't, that, that's all I gotta say.
All right, and I don't know if anybody's saying you're a horrible person, but it's obvious you got some issues going on now that your daughter needs to be protected from or shielded from anyway.
Right.
Not made part of it.
Absolutely.
So I just can't see a situation at this point where I say, boom, she's got to come over to your house for every other weekend or any amount of time at this point until you kind of get things figured out. Now, I don't have a problem with you seeing her, but we'd have to come up with a place and probably a supervisor and someone that can monitor the situation to ensure that the child is safe and that everything's appropriate. I might not be what
But
you want to hear, but it's better than nothing. And I think it's important at this point to, like I said, keep the child shielded from all this stuff that you got going on until you get some of it sorted out.
I mean, but right now, I really don't have, I don't really have anything going on besides the disability for Andrew's income. And
Well, you got your, what'd you say, your husband, working out his mental health issues and
oh yeah, this has been
and
over a
some
month.
now
He's
some physical health issues because of that. You got I don't know, at least an allegation that you were offering someone methamphetamine. You got people breaking into your house. You got somebody pulling a knife on you.
I mean, the guy is in
A
jail.
lot of stuff. Okay, but you're putting yourself in situations that I can't have the child be a part of.
I
And
mean,
until you start making decisions to separate yourself from that or to get help if you need it or to be able to provide a safe environment for the child, I can't send her over there.
right.
So probably could
Okay.
be somewhere. I don't have a problem if we set up parenting time where you guys meet at the library for a couple hours every week and you get to hang out and read books and play with the toys and do all that. But that's what we're looking at here. So
So, I mean, he doesn't have any physical health issues. No. He had mental health issues and he's on medications for it. And he's been to the mental hospital and was diagnosed and been on his medication since. I I I didn't plan on his brother coming
All right,
and
I'm not here to argue about what parenting time is gonna be, okay? I mean, my mind's made up. It's basically, what is it going to be in a protected environment with a supervisor? If you're not interested in that, then so be it. I mean, I'll wait until you file a motion for parenting time somewhere down the road. If you're interested in seeing her, that's gonna be the parameters. You kind of need to figure out the time, the place, and the supervisor.
the time and place. Okay, well, I don't.
Because I mean, this is what I'm faced with. We show up in early December. You're moving out of state to get away from things that were happening in Michigan that were not healthy for you or your child or anybody. But
Right, it
now,
was
2 months
domestic
later,
violence. I mean,
I'm talking now, just listen. 2 months later, you're still here. Now, in the meantime, a lot of stuff has happened, none of it good, okay? I mean, if it had all been roses for that last 2 months, you were getting some help for substance abuse or mental health, and your husband was getting a job, and you had a place to live, and everything was somewhat normal. Then maybe we're having a different conversation. But it sounds like things haven't gotten better, and in fact, in a lot of respects, may have gotten worse since then. You didn't leave the state to get away from the things that were wrong here, and things have kind of spiraled in a number of areas. So until all that can be addressed, I can't in good conscience send your daughter over there. I mean, she would be at risk in your care under those circumstances. Now, if you want to meet at the library or the McDonald's or the movies or something like that, and have time with her doing stuff like that with, I don't know if it would be Mr. Isabel or a grandparent or an aunt or an uncle or a friend that you both have or something like that. I don't have a problem with that because, I don't think you're going to hurt your daughter physically yourself, but I think it's the situations that she would be in if I just sent her over to your house that are the risk. Okay.
I mean, if there was a risk, CPS would have been here. CPS would have.
You don't have any children in your care, they're not going to get involved.
I have two children in my care.
They've been trying to contact her, but again, she's avoiding them.
Okay, well, this is the child we're dealing with today.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that I was a victim. And it's affected my
okay.
daughter.
Okay, I am too. But the safety of your daughter, the child's best interest is what governs these actions. And that's what I have to deal with. Okay? I'm not sitting here relishing the fact that you were victimized. I'm sitting here trying to figure out what's best for your daughter with the facts that I have presented to me today. Ms. Sterling, does your client get along well enough with Ms. Pitts to be able to be the supervisor? Or, okay, well, tell me a person the child is comfortable with that can get along with Ms. Pitts for a couple hours at sitting at McDonald's or sitting at the library or going to see a movie or something like that. Got to be somebody.
She gets along with anybody. Tia gets along with no one.
All right.
Anybody.
Give me an option here for a supervisor. I want to send you down to Grand Rapids to go to the YWCA. That's going to cost a fistful of money, and you got to travel both ways and all that. That's got to be something better than that.
Mindy Mensch has been doing some supervised visitation. I would recommend that.
All right, that's right here in White Cloud. Ma'am, do you want to do that? Meet here in White Cloud?
Yeah, it's fine.
All right, now I'm going to put the language in the order that it's going to be a supervisor agreeable by the parties, but because I'm not going to mention her by name, but it's my understanding that you're going to set it up through Mindy mentioned harmonized healing. Is that Ms. Sterling's nodding her head? And ma'am, she's right here on the main drag in White Cloud, and I think she charges $25 an hour.
Okay. So who pays for that then though?
Well, you would have to.
Can I just have my pastor supervise the visits?
Your pastor? Who's that?
Pastor JR.
What church is that?
He's Seventh-day Baptist right by the courthouse by the old fire department.
In White Cloud?
Yeah.
I don't know, Ms. Sterling, you know him?
I do not.
I don't know. I'd be fine with that, long as it was at either JR's house or the church.
All right, sounds like he's good with that, man.
Okay.
All right, so I guess with that understanding, Ms. Pitts would have supervised parenting time, as agreed, and that could include Ms. Mensch or Mr., what's his last name?
Schvick,
You spell that?
I do not know how to spell that. I believe it's SBICK.
I think it's SCHICK.
It may be, I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. And he's the pastor at the Seventh-day Adventist?
Baptist, right on the corner next to the library and county building.
All right. And we'll say that could be 1 to 2 times a week for 1 to 2 hours, whatever he's able to accommodate, or whatever, if you go the route with Ms. Mensch, whatever she's able to accommodate. And I'm not going to set another review at this point. That would just remain the order of the court until one of you filed a motion to change it at some point in the future. Or if you guys agreed on something that wasn't in the order and you wanted to go forward without necessarily having it on paper, that'd be okay too. But at this point, probably you're going to want it reduced to an order if you guys
Yes.
not getting along. But all right, I guess, is there anything else for today?
I don't believe so.
All right, we should be all set. Like I said, I'm not gonna mention them by name because they're not essentially court-approved supervisors. They don't work for the court, but they're people in the community that I do recognize will supervise parenting time, I guess. And if either or both of them, I guess, if you want to do it more than that and you can both get her there, then you can set it up through the two of them. I think Ms. Sterling can give you the contact information for Ms. Mensch, and it sounds like you both know how to get a hold of Mr. Schick when you need to. So, all right.
Thank you.
All right. Yep. We're all